zoning board of appeals meeting for November 2025 to order. Roll call. Too fast?
Bontrager,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Hutchinson,
Yes.
Coy,
Yes.
Brown,
Here.
Host,
Here.
Alt. Yes.
Okay. Let's see here. Roll call. Approval on November 20th, 25 agenda. Get a motion? Or,
I move that we accept it.
okay, we got a second?
Second.
Host,
Yes.
Hutchinson,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Bontrager,
Yes.
Alt. Yes. Coy.
Yes.
Okay. Approval October 16th, 2025 meeting. Any corrections or deletions or additions? If not, get a motion?
Motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
Okay.
Hutchinson,
Yes.
Coy,
Yes.
Alt. Yes. Bontrager,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Host,
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes. Okay, public comments. You got any? Communications.
Yes. So I wanted to let everybody know about the educational session that is going to be for the zoning ordinance rewrite. If you'd like to attend, it's going to be Wednesday, December 3rd at 5 o'clock at the Wellfield Conference Room.
Can't do it.
And then there's something in January also.
Yes.
Refresh my memory, or is that later in the agenda?
Nope. Do we have something in January for
I think you might be referring to that joint planning.
Planning Commission?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
so, different than the zoning ordinance, but yes, you're correct, there is another meeting.
Okay, public hearing.
All right, so first I'm going to, thank you. First I'm going to go ahead and get this started for the slideshow. Okay, so on the screen, the first thing that I want to talk about is kind of just the process of the Zoning Board of Appeals. So zoning board members can legally visit the site that is in question. Next, they can make an observation during the visit. Should be publicly disclosed at the hearing if you were there. Notification and transparency are crucial to protect due process rights. And always avoid ex parte communication during your visit at the location that is in question. So this evening we are doing a sign dimensional variance request. This is at the property located at 1129 North Mitchell Street. The applicant is Allen Property Holdings, which is also Northern Steel. Property and application overview. We have the address. We have the parcel number. It is on 0.34 of an acre. The zoning district is B3, which is General Business District. The applicant and the request is a variance to sign size requirements. As you see in the picture there, that is a possible or what they would like it to look like at the bottom underneath the original Northern Steel sign, which is at the top. The proposed sign would add 24 square foot LED board, 4 foot high by 6 foot wide to current pole sign. The total sign area requested is 72 square feet. That is the existing sign plus the LED board. Our ordinance allows for 48 square foot for pole signs in the B3 zone, seeking variance to permit larger sign than allowed. Site and neighborhood context. The property is between commercial businesses, it has a large lot size, It's autofocused, it's high vehicle traffic. Nearby signs, we have Wexford Community Credit Union, Heitzman Holding Ship, G&D. Now, each of those signs are 72 square foot, but what we need to realize is the 48 square foot is the main part of the sign, and the pedestal or the base is 24 square foot. So Beckton Baker dealership went out and measured that. That is 54 square foot sign, and it's slightly over. So sign ordinance overview. This section says limits pole signs to 48 square feet, that regulates sign placement to ensure safety, visibility, and aesthetics. The purpose behind that is balance business needs, public safety, and community character. Definitions. Sign dimensional variance. Exception to sign size, height, and standards for signs. A pole sign is a freestanding sign supported on uprights. Monument sign is a yard sign, ground mounted, counted as pole sign. And number 4, sign area includes faces, excludes support structures, unless base is part of the display. The zoning requirements for variances. Variances must show a unique hardship or a special condition. Does property have unusual size, shape, or other constraints on it? Are there unique conditions making strict compliances difficult? Would strict enforcement create unique hardship? Would variance harm the public good or the ordinance purpose? Variance review standards. I went through the standards, and it will not block light or air to the neighbors, will not increase traffic congestion, won't increase public fire safety risk, will not reduce neighboring properties' values, it will not harm public health, morale, or welfare. Variance assessment. So this request, sign will not block the light and air, no expected impact on traffic, construction meets code, anticipated to have positive effects on the property values, and supports local business activity, maintains compliance with safety design standards. Public notification. The public hearing notices went out, and the owners of within 300 feet were notified. The notices were also posted at City Hall, Cadillac News, and the city website. And no written public comments received as of the date today. So, board decision and the next steps. You're going to approve, the board may approve variance, approve with conditions, and you may attach conditions as necessary to ensure code compliance or deny the request. Thank you.
Okay.
So we
Anybody-
do have the gentleman from Northern Steel here too.
Okay, wait, approach podium, yep. State your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Brian Goodman, 1129 North Mitchell Street, Cadillac, Michigan. Or do you want my home address?
That is fine.
Okay, all right. Well, my name is Brian Goodman. I'm here requesting this variance for an LED board sign. I have to admit, if you did take a look at my letter that I wrote you, I did the ultimate mistake. I assumed by driving up and down Mitchell Street that the sign that I was looking to do was within scope and reason, and my silly person went and bought the sign ahead of time. Now, I understand already that that cannot be considered a hardship. It's just the facts, and I'm telling you the truth. Then I found out I can't have it. Then that's when kind of I looked at everything and said, okay, well, I went out, I looked at other signs that were located in the area. I do understand about the other LED boards that are currently on Mitchell Street, and that, but those are also affixed to the base, and they're all one piece. So I do, you know, I measured it out, and I would still be under or very close to the footprint that these other signs have. Now, I also understand that you can't use that as a reason for a hardship. So here is my reason. My reason is this. I want to be able to advertise my company in the best light. I want to be able to get messages out to the general public that are traveling North Mitchell. We have been a good steward of that property. We've kept it clean and tidy. There's been no issues there. I have joined the Cadillac Chamber of Commerce. I'm a part of the Better Business Bureau. I have done all the things that a community member should do in regards to bringing a good, solid business to this community. This LED board will allow me to produce information to my customers that I normally can't get unless I have to go through other means, which we all know that Facebook, Marketplace, all those things, yes, they're good tools, but everybody's on it and it's overloaded. So me being able to get honest messages to local people and local customers, this is the best way to do it. And I'm just asking for your consideration, and I'm here to answer any questions you might have.
Anybody question for him?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Can I call you Brian?
Yes, sir.
Okay, a couple questions I had.
Yep.
One of them is the ordinance in the B3 zone, the ordinance for what they call multi-establishment locations allows for a secondary additional sign of, let's say, 15 square foot.
Okay.
So my question was going to be, can you do an LED sign of 15 square foot? And even though it's not a true multi-establishment, meaning you've got your business, there are a lot of other businesses that I don't believe are multi-establishment that have more than one signs, a sign and LED. Walgreens comes to mind.
Mhm.
So, and that's just right by your business.
Right.
Is Walgreens. So I don't have a problem with a second sign. The only issue I have a problem is that you've already bought the darn thing.
Yeah, and again, that I'm not trying to bring that up to make that a reason as to the why. That was my mistake, and I take responsibility for that. But ultimately, in regards to that question, yes, within the framework, if known, if I would have done my due diligence, which I did not, I would have been able to kind of figure that part out. But now that I have it, I can't just return it and get something smaller. This is a double-faced LED board at $55,000, and that has already been spent. And again, I understand that that is not a purpose or a reason, and I'm not asking you to consider that part. What I'm asking you to consider is the fact that in the given nature, if you take a look at the sign setup, it is respectful. It is small. 6x8 is actually very small, considering the sign I could have, thank God I didn't buy. But yes, that sign right there is respectful. It's not going to have a bunch of crazy things on it or crazy sayings or statements. It's going to be just to advertise my company, and anything smaller would not fit what I could do with it, because I put steel structures up, I put steel garages up, and the LED board has to support those pictures within that sign.
Any other questions?
I do.
Yes.
In order for us basically to pass a variance, you have to have a unique hardship that nobody else in the city has. What would you say that is? And I mean, it can't be financial.
Well, actually, it is. It's called being able to advertise to customers in a way that produces product that produces money for me. Not having that there for myself, being able to state what my business does create a financial hardship not having it, because then I have to think of other ways, hanging banners, putting other things up on the property, things that are gaudy looking, things that aren't very attractive.
I completely understand that, but every business has that same, how do I get out there to my
Yep, no, I get it.
clients?
I get it. And I'm not trying to ask for an unfair advantage over the people that are around me, but since you did bring that up, there are signs of that size that are out there on Mitchell Street,
But
and
they're
one is actually brand new.
Their display area fits with because the credit union came in here, it's 48 square feet, the display.
Yep, and the fact of the matter is that that's with their base. I don't have a base that's 72 inches, you know what I mean, overall. My whole square footprint on this sign would be 69 square feet total, and their setups, and again, I can only base it on what I've seen and what I've measured, is 72 square feet. But I understand the base and everything like that, but that is still a part of the signage altogether.
Not according to the ordinance.
Well, I
They're
understand.
just going for the display.
No, and
area.
I'm not trying to argue that fact with you, or nor am I trying to be disrespectful. I am just basically stating the facts of what I see, how it's envisioned, what I'm envisioning for that property, and for my ability to grow my company and stay ahead of a very hard industry to manage, because you have a lot of people out there that aren't doing it correctly, that are scamming customers, and it's a mess out there. And I'm trying to bring honesty and integrity, but to be able to do that and to continue my company, I have to be able to advertise my company in a way that brings people in the door and keeps my lights on.
Is there any way you can take your main sign and make it 24 square feet instead of the 49 it is?
That would create a very big financial hardship, even more. So yeah, that would create financial hardship, because I thought about that. I even talked to Signplicity, which is a company up in Traverse City that does a lot of signs down here, and that would have to deconstruct the whole entire thing, and it would cost me thousands of more dollars to do that. So, but yeah, I get where you're coming from. But even with the regular sign, I'm still right at the 48 square feet. The only way that would be working is if I took the whole entire sign down, which would completely eliminate it, and then put the LED board in its place, which wouldn't even be the same size of that sign.
Right, I think.
So I would lose, yeah, I would lose real estate in advertising the board. The board is basically just to get messaging out to the customers, to the possible customers in the future. And it will all be done respectfully. You know, I'm not here to, have silly sayings or statements or try to be funny in any way, shape, or form. It's just mainly just for me to make money.
And it's just your business there, and that's
It's my
all that
business,
it's going
yes.
to be?
I have two pieces. I have two parcels there, the main parcel and the parcel right next door. I haven't decided if I'm going to do anything on that side of the business, because, but I do keep it clean, make sure that everything's good. And on top of that, I'm backed right up to the railroad tracks and the factories back there. And I always try to keep that area clean in the back as well, to make sure, that things are tidy, and lighting and everything like that, to keep it safe back there, because there is a lot of transients that do come back through there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So this is before you were here, but we had a case a number of years ago, and it was Wright's Custom Body Repair. And they had a similar situation where they already had the sign, and it was too big, and it was rejected. They ended up, mind you, it was two-sided, so it wasn't the ideal situation for them, but they turned it into a wall sign, and it worked out. Was it ideally what they wanted? Absolutely not, but they were able to turn it and mount it and use it as a wall sign. I would really be curious to know the secondary sign at Walgreens, and I'm using Walgreens because it's very close to your location. They have the Walgreens sign, and they have a secondary sign underneath it. I'd sure be curious to know what the dimensions are of that secondary sign. Because if that secondary sign happened to be 24 square foot, then we get into the, it's vague, hardship, but you know what I mean. Business directly across the street's able to do it. That's where I'm going with that, but we don't know.
May I ask a question? That's what makes this hard, is because just like what's inside the variance request is you can't use other people's signs as a hardship, and you have to show some kind of financial thing, but that's the whole point. Everybody around you has these wonderful, big, beautiful advertisements, and yet you're held to a different standard, but you can't use that in the hardship or in any other factor. I'm not trying to, point to everyone else and say, well, they have it, why can't I? That's actually silly and very disrespectful. My issue is, please allow me to conduct my business and be able to get my message out to customers so I can continue to thrive here in the city of Cadillac. And I've been here now for almost a year of acquiring the property. In fact, it's almost been a year from the day I came in here requesting the zoning to get that property for what I'm planning on doing. And I was fortunate enough for you to accept me then. Now I'm asking you to please allow me to continue so that way I can produce and generate funds to continue my scope here in the Cadillac area. That's all.
Any more comments? Or questions? Well, if not, get a motion?
You need
I
to open
think we
the,
need to discuss among ourselves,
Okay.
don't we?
hang on,
Yeah,
Mr. Chair, you need to open the public hearing.
okay. We'll open the public hearing then. Is there anybody else that would like to make comment? Nope, I forgot about that. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Close it. And we just talk between ourselves.
So Mike, I have a question for you. You've been involved in this kind of thing for quite a while.
Oh, yes. I've
How,
said
how
no
is it,
many times.
how is it that, some of these other businesses have apparently got signs which don't meet the ordinance?
I can honestly say the ones that I'm talking about have been up there long before I ever came to work for the city.
Okay.
Because I came to work for the city
And they never came in front of
in 20.
ZBA.
And,
The only one that's coming in front of the ZBA is the Wex.
Is what?
Is the Wexfords.
and sometimes what happens, and I'm not sure of the legality of it with the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act, but sometimes these are approved along with a specific site plan that is approved by the Planning Commission.
Like we talked about with Subway last time around?
Exactly.
Yeah.
A good example was you go out to J&H Oil, where we have Tim Hortons in that. That site plan, which had to be approved by the Joint Planning Commission, included specifics on signage and other stuff like that. So that's where it's tough for this group, because, you know, I can't speak for how that was allowed. You know, I certainly don't have a problem with him putting up a smaller secondary sign, but, yeah,
Well, that's,
it's just, it's the size issue.
that's kind of where I am. I went by there today, and looked at it and envisioned that LED sign underneath it. It's high enough up in the air, it's not causing traffic problems. It's in the character of the neighborhood. It would be absolutely fine, in my opinion. However, I'm reticent to go outside the zoning ordinances without a reason. So I'm really torn here, to be honest with you. And
I quite frankly don't want to be the one to make a motion.
yeah, I don't know if it's a proper question or not, but is our sign ordinance overly restrictive and perhaps need to be reconsidered? And I know that's not within our scope of what we do, but
I certainly hope that when the zoning ordinance, the updating is completed, the sign ordinance needs to probably go through the biggest rewrite, because it is way too lengthy, just the sign portion. I believe the sign portion, depending on what font you want to print it in, the sign ordinance is between 25 and 30 pages in length alone.
really, I've never read it.
It's just, and it goes back to the early 1980s.
Is that something that's scheduled to occur?
It's in process.
It is. When is that likely to be?
No clue.
What'd you say, Teresa?
And I guess where I'm headed with that is,
May of next year.
could we suggest to Mr. Goodman that we let that process happen and then come back to us, if even necessary at that point, to ask a variance, or perhaps there won't be a variance necessary at that point?
Because I think in December, that meeting is a zoning code rewrite meeting.
Correct.
That's kind of an initiation, right? After that, how long will it take to
Oh, I
actually?
said probably May. It'll be done by May.
May.
The zoning ordinance rewrite completed in May, then it'll have to go through city council to get approval.
Because
That's why I'm so torn. What he's doing is absolutely, I understand exactly why. I don't see there'd be a problem with it, but I don't like to grant variances unless we really need to. Otherwise, the sign ordinance is, so it seems to me that sign ordinance is what really needs to be looked at to see if something like this could be accepted without variance.
I agree, because a sign is fine, it's not gonna
It's
interfere
fine.
with any, there's,
Yeah.
to me, there's no problem with the sign, but like in order to approve it, we have to come up with a unique hardship and that no one else in that area has, and there's just not, it's not there.
Brian, I have no clue how that's constructed. I don't know if it can be, yeah, I know you said the difficulty of downsizing it is huge.
Well, yeah, because it's already, the sign's already purchased.
It's-
And again, it's got nothing to do with any of you, and I understand your situation. I get it. I understand, why you're here and why you have to put your foot in the ground and say this is what it is.
Can
But-
you wait until May? I mean, is that something that you can, I know it's not ideal, but
Well, May turns into June, and June turns into September and
You're
October, and the
absolutely right.
next thing you know, I have a sign sitting in a box for over 2 years, just sitting there.
I got that.
Here's my viewpoint of it. Okay, out of two places, Herring, north of Walgreens, and Cadillac, which I'm a stone's throw away from, that street. Okay, then it's like Wonderland. Signs galore. Okay. When I came in and asked last year for this approval, the reason why I was approved is because the blight that I was going to cover up was going to be the reason why you were going to allow me to put the structures that I have put there. Now, those structures have remained clean. The property has remained tidy. There's been zero complaints through the entire year. And I have been a good steward of that property. So at the end of the day, I am blocking what most people don't want to see when they go by there, and this was brought up to me by the board that said that to me. Yeah, we want you there because we want you to block that view.
100%.
I don't know what you can consider a hardship other than the fact that by not allowing me to have the sign, you're basically limiting me to not be able to reach my customers and to produce things that aren't gaudy and obtrusive, like flags and banners and silly things that I could post on my wall, which I don't want to do because it makes what I do look cheap. The reason for the investment was very clear. I'm investing this kind of money because I want to stay in Cadillac. This is where I want to be. But I also want to make sure you understand that I am trying to follow the rules. Me being in front of you today isn't because I thought, oh yeah, let me just go out and spend $60,000 and then, can't have it, so here, let me come back in here and beg. I'm not a hat in hand kind of person. I'm here to do business. I'm here to bring a lot of people, and I do bring a lot of people into this area from outside of Cadillac, and I want to continue to do that. And this sign will allow me to continue the advertising part of my company. But stating that I have to wait 6, 7, 8, 9 months, or possibly even more, it doesn't know, is not a part of the business plan that I would have to put into motion if I wasn't able to get this variance. Because I have to be able to produce, and I have to produce on a daily basis, and I have to give myself every opportunity to do so. So there's my hardship, and it's not unique, but it is the truth. Creating hardships in certain areas and stuff because the sign variance or the sign ordinance is 50 years old is not my fault. It's not on me as a company that has moved into your city. That's for you guys to decide. I'm asking and I'm requesting that you allow me to continue making money so I can keep those doors open. Or otherwise, I have to go where I can do the things that I need to do to bring attention to what I'm trying to do. And that's not a threat. That's not me saying this or the other. This is just me. In today's business world, you either are eating or you're eating. And I have to eat because I got a family to support. And my wife will kill me. My wife will kill me. There's your hardship. Possible murder at my house tonight. There you go.
That's the best case you've made, by
There you go. There you go. My wife will absolutely kill me after she says, well, you spent $55,000. Well, now I'm going to kill you. So forget it. So, and I'm joking. But ultimately you can understand where I'm coming from. I hate doing this hat in hand stuff. But I hope you all can understand the request and why. It's not to try to break your rules from 1980. It's just to try to continue and do great things in this community. That's all.
Mike, does Herring Township have signed ordinances also?
I cannot speak for them, but
I
it
think
does
they
not
do.
appear so.
But
No.
they're sure definitely,
But they're more lenient,
Yeah.
they're,
Yeah, they have,
they like the big signs, or the big sign or block, big sign.
yeah.
Steve?
Signplicity has done a lot of signs in Herring, because that's who I use, because they are familiar with Cadillac.
Sure.
And they're the ones that, you know, put together the whole map of everything and put everything together for me, along with the manufacturer of the sign where I bought it from. And they said the same thing, that Herring Township is, you basically write it on a cocktail napkin and you're good to go. But again, this isn't Herring Township.
I got that. That's not necessarily
No,
good either. but-
no, it's not necessarily good, but it was what was explained to me. You know, and to be honest with you, you know, like I said, I'm not trying to be intrusive. I'm not trying to hurt anyone by doing this. I don't think it's going to affect the overall businesses around me. I don't think it's going to create a problem for any of you if somebody comes up and asks for a sign variance. Because ultimately, you should be able to have signs up on a property you're paying taxes on and conducting business on, as long as it's respectful. Not gaudy, stupid, you know, big spotlights shining all over the place and blinding people when they drive by. You know, respectful, with respectful messaging. And that's just basically advertising what I do. And being able to communicate a lot better or a lot easier than trying to hang a banner or throw an ad out on Facebook, which hardly anybody, some people have it, some people don't. But I might not be reaching these people that are driving by, or local community members. I have a lot of local people that have come in and stopped and requested information and things of that nature. And I've had a lot of people out of area. You know, I get people that come down from Mackinac City. I get people that come from the UP. I get people that come from Alpena, Bay City. I've had people come from all over the place to you know, look at my services and what I offer, because I do have a respect for what I do, and it shows, and I do things a lot more cleaner and better than the other guy. So that's how I'm able to draw people in. So,
I like the simplicity of that sign. It's very clear. You can read it.
Yeah.
Some of the signs are so fine and so,
yep,
they're busy.
yes,
They're too busy.
too busy.
And literally, you have to slow down to
Yep.
read them,
Yep.
which I feel is a detriment.
Hmm.
You can read this very quick.
Yep,
I think it's very neat,
yep.
and I would like to make the motion that we accept your.
I appreciate
Do
that.
that sign.
Thank you, sir.
Well, you heard a motion. Do we have a second?
I second the motion.
Alt,
No.
Hutchinson,
No.
Coy,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Bontrager,
Yes.
Host,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
It's been approved.
All set. Thank you so much, all of you. And again, I'm a good steward of the community, so if any of you, regardless of the yes or no, whatever you decide, please come by and see me. If you see something you don't like it, come back and see me. I'm more than open to open my door for any, you know, constructive criticism, whatever you'd like to say.
Mallory,
Okay.
go ahead.
Well, we'd like to keep you in our
so-
community, and
You guys hear me?
I would not be good to help plan your funeral.
All right, well, thank you. And my wife will, well, I definitely will, thank you on behalf of my wife, so she doesn't have to kill me tonight. So,
And no political messages.
yes, no,
Legal needs to
Sir?
weigh in.
you don't ever have to worry about that.
Excuse me, just wait a second. Legal needs
you
to
sit down?
weigh in. Can you sit down for a second?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, legal's weighing in, so let's listen.
So I couldn't clearly hear the motion, but I want to remind the ZBA that you need to make findings on the record. So you need to go through and make your findings, per your zoning ordinance on when you're deciding either way, on a variance request. So I didn't hear any that were made or adopted, so just want to, you guys might want to redo your motion with those findings.
Can we just add it at this point? Some comments that support why we did this as a yes voter?
I think she requested that the motion be reiterated based
Okay.
on those findings.
May I, Larry?
I didn't, I'm
They,
hurt.
they want us to reiterate the motion with some reason why we're doing it. And if you'd like, I'd like to restate it and see if you agree.
Go
So,
ahead.
so I move we accept the variance request. My reasoning is, and perhaps some of the others is, I believe that the ordinance that we currently have in the city of Cadillac presents a hardship to Mr.
can I
Goodman
interrupt?
and related
1 second.
businesses.
Can you hear her?
I
Go ahead, Mallory.
So you need to make your findings based on what the ordinance requires, not what you think the ordinance should require. I think you all received a memo, and I think Mackenzie went over it at your last meeting. So there's a few kind of standards that have to be met in order to grant a variance. So you should go through and make your findings of those standards.
Okay, were they,
That was what I was talking about when I said there needed to, in order to grant the variance, there has to be a hardship. So you have to come up with what the hardship.
What page?
If you put it in your staff report, I'm not sure.
One-
guess what I'm trying to do is figure out a way
Yeah.
to use this to help
Sure.
motivate the sign variance rewrite. And I don't know if that's completely kosher or not, but that's what I'm trying to accomplish.
Yeah, so the ZBA can't make legislation, only, PC can planning commission can recommend and city council can adopt. And so that's not something that can really be done at the zoning board level.
So does that bring us back to, no, now let's rewrite the ordinance or try to get the ordinance rewritten and come back? Or maybe it's not necessary to come back?
I guess it's just a little off, but Teresa, probably the biggest reason I voted yes is one of the suggestions I've made with updating the new ordinance, particularly with signage, is we have to, I believe, when the sign section is redone, the issue of scale needs to be a part of it. And where I'm going with this is when you've got a parcel like Mr. Goodman's, where I believe he has maybe over 200 foot of frontage on Mitchell Street, I think I would like us to be able to think of scale versus maybe a parcel that's 100 foot or less wide, where you really do start seeing signs jammed together. Many years ago, the Michigan Economic Development Corp did a short video PowerPoint on what they called Main Street corridor planning, and they got into signage. Now, this is in Michigan, and ironically, they use photos from Cadillac's North End, what we're talking about, as examples of how not to do it. And scale, I don't think, is a good reason, but it really came into my mind because there aren't a lot of signs packed in this area where they have their property. And I would hope in the new update of the sign ordinance, if that can be considered, it should be.
You mentioned the two parcel thing. Does two parcels give them twice the allowable sign square footage?
That's not a question for me.
And the other would be,
I think it'd have to be a
if you have
totally
another
separate
parcel,
sign.
can you put that sign up on the parcel next door?
Man, that's a great question.
Yeah, that
So-
might be a way around it.
I'm
So
trying to
can I-
help you here, Mr. Goodman.
Yeah.
Well, something that might help us, if you can turn to page 6 in your packet.
Page 6.
Should be on the first staff report, not of
I-
the entire packet.
Yeah, not the entire packet, be in the staff report.
Variance review standards and all that.
Yep, it would, up here at the top, have the Cadillac.
Yep,
Right here in the
yep,
corner.
yep.
And then underneath that in bold, it would say variance review standards. Okay, so now let's go to those bullet points. Does the property have an unusual narrowness, shallowness, shape, or area that exists when the ordinance was enacted? Are there exceptional conditions specific to this property that make following the zoning ordinance especially difficult or burdensome for the owner? Would strictly applying the zoning ordinance create practical difficulties or undue hardship for the property owner? Can a variance be granted to address these issues without causing substantial harm to the public? And lastly, would allowing the variance still hold the intent and purpose of the ordinance?
I think we can say yes to point number 1, 2, 3, 4.
I have a question though. In the variance, I think it's on, in the actual variance book that I got, it's on page 140, but it's section 46,664. There's a list, A through J, of everything that needs to be met in order to grant a sign variance. And I didn't know if that needs to be met for signs or, because I think I asked that the last time we were in here with Subway.
I think one of the issues with Subway, if I recall, was that it was a ground sign and it was going to impede sight lines and things like that.
No,
So
but
that-
these right here say the standards for granting variances shall be that all of the following conditions must be met for signs. And it's got like a list of A through J.
Mhm.
Right.
And that's, I mean, I know you've got those 4, but there's more than 4 here that says that's what has to be met in order to grant a sign. And that's what I'm wondering, is that the case? Is that what the ordinance says for signs are these things, or is it only the 4 or 5 that you have on the other page?
I would have to ask Mallory if she can help me with that answer or not.
Yep, so yes, you also have to meet the specific sign variance standards. Those are for sign variances specifically, whereas the other ones that Teresa was talking about, those also apply, but then those would apply to like setbacks and other types of dimensional variances.
And you said, what was the number, 46
It's
dash?
46-664J3 is the whole list of the standards.
And it says they all need to be met, is that what you're saying?
That's what it says, is all of them have to be met.
Well, I'm gonna ask you a question then. If that's all spelled out in perfect detail, why are we here? We're here to apply discretion and judgment on this, not to follow a rote list of items.
And bring them up to date.
So, if it's all said right there, why are we here?
Well, that's just for signs.
No, I know, but why are we here? Even
But see,
discussing
that's
this.
where my problem with saying yes on the like, I think the sign is great. I don't think it's gonna cause any problems, but according to what this is, has to occur to grant it, I can, in good conscience, grant it
Sure.
because of this.
I understand.
Yep, so per your zoning ordinance, you have to make findings of all of these standards, and so that is where your discretion and judgment comes in, whether these standards have been met. But you can't ignore them. That's outside of the scope of what the ZBA can do. You can't have discretion with the actual ordinance, just if these standards are met that the ordinance requires.
Well, since we don't have those in front of us, most of us don't have these in front of us, I'm at a loss as to how to respond to that. So does this need to be tabled until we have a chance to review that? Can we bring it up and go through it point by point? Because if that is the case, then we're not prepared to
Grant a variance.
to rule on this one way or the other.
I've got the zoning book right in
Put it
front of
right
me. I can pop out the page if Danielle wants to go make copies so everyone can look it over to get it tonight for him, so he doesn't have to come back.
Right.
Or if you wanna table it, we can come back again.
I'm open to whatever's the most practical and appropriate.
Steve, I'm looking over her shoulder reading
Mhm.
this, and absolutely true. The standards that are listed are not all being met. They're not being met.
I'd add that either way, you'll need to address the motion that you did adopt, whether you move to rescind that or to uphold it. But like if you wanted to table it, you would need to address the motion that you adopted before we intervened.
I'm not sure what you said. It's the video's rather muffled, or the audio's rather muffled.
Do you mind speaking up a little bit more, Mallory?
Yeah, so I've just said that you'll need to address, you know, if you want to table this or do something different, you'll need to address the motion that you already adopted. Either reiterate that motion with your findings or make a motion to rescind it and, you know, table this, whatever the ZBA wants to do, but you should address that motion that you already adopted or
Yeah, sure,
passed.
sure.
I think we probably should rescind it and then start over.
I
I think
would
we
think.
should postpone it and find out about the two parcels
Yep.
and see if that has
Could be,
any valid
you know,
foundation for it.
Yes.
and
You know, I get it now. I didn't realize I had to have an arsenal of attorneys come with me to argue over a sign. Just give me the declination. I'm done. I've invested so much time and effort into this and wrote out stuff and maps and stuff, and people are saying no, and I'm not here to create a problem for the community. I'm just asking for a silly LED sign. And
We're
and
trying to
you're-
find a way to help you, though.
I get it. No, I understand, and I appreciate it. I really do. But if I have to jump through this many hoops just to get a small little sign put up, and it is a small sign compared to the sign that's up there, just to advertise to customers in this city, it's ridiculous. And I mean no disrespect to any one of you. You all have your reasons for why you have to do what you have to do. You have to follow rules and laws. Everybody has to. That's how this community is a good community. But it's a sign. It's an LED board. It's not, I'm not building a nuclear missile silo out in the back. But this is getting way above my head, and I'm very frustrated right now. And I appreciate all of you still, and I thank you, sir, Larry. I want to thank you personally for stepping up and saying what you said, and I'll always remember that. You were the person that came out and said it. So just give me the declination. I'll figure it out, and, you know, I'll see what I can do, you know, moving forward. So hopefully you guys can get your signage thing together, and I'll figure it out when I have to figure it out. But I thank you all, instead of you guys having to go through all this stuff. So,
The name of our committee is the Zoning Board of Appeals. And so this is, a good portion of our meetings are the people who wanna do something and don't quite fully agree with the rules and regulations that were done 50 years ago. That's why we're here. And this is why I feel like we should have the power to maybe not have to do, 17 things there, or whatever they are, of helping the people that we want to keep in our community
So I agree, Larry.
happy.
So
And
we've
that's why-
already passed a motion, our city attorney doesn't like it. Do we have to listen to the city attorney,
we should.
frankly?
No, you guys can always, you know, do what you want. That's just my advice.
Sorry?
She said that you can do what you want, but that is her advice.
If I can, I wanna just, based on what I'm just reading here that Kelly brought up, and it is pretty clear. I mean, I know we had the majority, but I'm thinking if I can rescind my vote to approve, I will rescind it. And the reason is, 46664,
Can I stop you for just 1 second? Are you making a motion to rescind the previous motion?
I'm making a motion to rescind my previous vote,
Okay.
my vote.
I think what we're needing at this point
And I have a specific,
is to rescind the previous
I think we should rescind.
motion as a
Rescind the
whole.
motion and then
I'd
start
like-
over with a different plan.
I'd like to hear what Mike has to say first, and then we can decide whether it's rescinding
well,
motions.
you
or
know,
what.
Kelly's absolutely right. It says, you gotta meet all these standards.
Mhm.
And I didn't read this before I came here, and I should have.
Well, I didn't
But,
either, I thought it was-
item F, under 46664, 3/F, it clearly reads, the term regarding signs,
Mhm.
the term hardship shall not be deemed financial hardship relating to the cost of the sign, the size of the sign, or the fact that the sign has already been constructed,
Sure, that's,
or the fact that the sign is only available in standardized sizes, materials, etc. Example is franchise signs.
and Mr. Goodman's already admitted that,
Yes.
you know, his bad for buying the sign, right, at that size. And I don't, that's, yeah, that's, I think we all get
Well,
that.
Mike,
so.
what is the definition of our committee? If we can't, if they appeal what's written here, do we have the power of going against this?
We do, with the possibility of legally being wrong. I mean, our primary job is to interpret the ordinance
Mhm.
and follow the ordinance. There's no question the planning commission can make a recommendation to council to amend the ordinance. But that would be their rule, not ours. So, yeah, I mean.
I think the problem is that, like, when you pass it, you have to make your findings. So you pass the ordinance, now you have to go down through here and say, I find because this, you know, that I do think this is a hardship, and I do think this is, that's where the problem comes in, is making the findings for the motion.
I think the undue hardship is our antiquated ordinance, sign ordinance.
I agree, I'll second that.
And if I'm reading this thing here, so can it, of the points here, point number 4 is, can a variance be granted to address the issue without causing a substantial harm to the public good? And the answer to that is, I think yes, and we all agree on that. So to me, the hardship is our antiquated ordinance. And I know we're not supposed to legislate from here, but we are supposed to exercise discretion and common sense. So for that reason, I think our motion made by Larry, seconded by me, and voted on by the rest should stand. I appreciate the comments from our city attorney, but I believe we should grant the variance. And I'm very happy to have people investing in the city of Cadillac and not moving to Lake City or Manton or Traverse City. And if our rules help or are part of what discourages businesses, and that's a real problem for the city of Cadillac. So for the good of the city of Cadillac, for the greater good of the people who live in and around here, I believe we should stick with our vote, and that's all I got to say about that.
Well,
So-
we approve many times of going against the dimensions, for one. They give it certain dimensions, and we approve going beyond those dimensions. To me, I think this should be the power of this committee, within reason, of course, of saying we don't quite agree with this.
Yeah.
This is why they're here.
So we've had a motion, we've had a second, we've had a vote, we approved. The city attorney has made a comment. I personally don't agree with her comment, maybe the rest of you do or don't. So we either proceed with what we've just approved, which has been duly approved as far as I understand it, or we make a motion to rescind that approval when we go back. That's where we are now, if I'm not wrong, right? So if someone wants to make a motion to move, to undo what we've already done, now's the time, right? Otherwise, we move on to the next case.
I'm not gonna make that motion.
Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, you're correct.
Mr. Chairman, am I wrong?
This is an interesting conversation.
It is, isn't it?
It's an interesting conversation.
I mean, I, well, I can't make her second, so,
Pardon?
I'm at the point where I can't make her second, so.
Well, anyway, that's where we are. So we moving on, or are we gonna talk about this some more?
Well, if the motion stands, we have to put all the findings on the record.
Okay.
So that
And-
is the motion. I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna make a motion to rescind it.
Okay, and we've discussed our findings. Do we need to redo the motion with findings, or can the findings and the things we've talked about be part of the record, and that serves to support this.
That is a question for legal.
Yeah, legal.
Will these be reflected in the minutes of this meeting, that this wasn't haphazardly agreed upon? We discussed it.
Ad
We
nauseam.
discussed it thoroughly.
Right?
Mallory, do you have anything to add?
No, it was hard to hear you all, but I think, yeah, you want to make sure the findings are reflected in the minutes. It's usually best to have them in a motion, or at least to have a motion adopting the findings that were made on the record, just so that that's recorded.
We've said a lot of things that are difficult now
So,
to
should we-
regurgitate it right
Should we-
now, so, but they're in the minutes, right?
Do we need to redo the motion with the findings, though?
Well, then we'd have to reread the findings, and they're already in the minutes, right?
Could we just refer to it as the findings?
So you could have a motion to approve the variance application based on the findings that have been made on the record.
Okay. Can we modify that motion or make another motion to approve the variance request based upon our findings and discussion that we've had over the last 15 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Making
You want
that
me to-
motion?
Are you making that motion?
I'm making that motion.
Okay.
And I'll second it.
Post.
So we're voting?
Yep, so you just made a motion with second, so we need to do roll call.
Okay.
Yep,
Well-
post.
Wait just a second. What is the motion, so I know what I'm voting on?
Same
Brown.
one you voted on last time, only the comments that we've made along the way.
Okay,
are
so it's the
included with
exact,
it.
it's the motion to approve,
Yeah.
but with all the comments
is
that
it-
we,
Yeah,
okay.
my
Is it a
understanding,
separate
yep.
motion? Or is it
Do
just?
we need to rescind the first motion first
That was my
with
question.
her, so that we don't have two motions up?
And it's clearly stated.
So that was the legal advice that was talked about, I'm not sure how long ago.
But to
was-
rescind the.
To
first
rescind
one
the
and then
So it could all be
rescind
one motion to
That's
rescind the previous
more
motion
concise.
and
Okay,
to,
we need, who wants to make that motion?
Okay, motion to rescind the first motion.
Okay, the second.
I'll second that.
Okay,
Hutchinson,
Yes.
Hoy,
Yes.
Alt,
Yes.
Bontrager,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Post,
Yes.
Nichols.
yes. Okay, now we go to
Making,
making, it's time for a
Now
vote.
make the
with-
motion.
Including the
Okay, make your
findings.
motion again.
All right, so I move that we accept the variance request based upon the multitude of points that were raised in our discussion over the past 15 or so minutes. And if I could remember them all, I would.
Based on the findings as
Based
stated
on the findings.
record. Got it. Second,
Got a second?
You got a second, Larry?
Yeah, I'd second it.
Yeah.
Okay.
you seconded it.
okay. Post,
Yes.
Hutchinson,
No.
Brown,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Bontrager,
Yes.
Alt,
No.
Coy.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Got it.
Congratulations.
Next step is your permits. Sorry about all the problems.
Have a happy holiday, folks.
You know, sometimes this stuff's like watching sausage being made, you know, so.
I'll make sure I'm more prepared. Thank you so much, everybody.
Okay, I guess we go to the next one.
This is the
Oh.
problem with having a very old, antiquated zoning ordinance.
100%.
And Teresa,
For
good
sure.
luck on getting this thing completed.
You know, we
Good
could
luck.
have this.
So is there a way for
every
it-
meeting from here, is my feeling, because we're not following what's written 50 years ago.
We usually do.
Yeah, I mean.
So is there a way for this body to recommend to the
Yeah.
powers that be that are to really serious consider the,
I think
3
we just-
December.
I think just, yeah, I mean,
See, my
just
feeling was
ask the
without
planning
reading
commission to
we could
review
probably
I'm
the
do
sign
on
away
ordinance.
with
but does that require something more official from us, or?
Well, I'm on that
Probably.
committee.
Are you?
Is.
And
that-
I think
I'm
it's
already
important.
working on
This is
that.
what
I'm
we
sorry,
looked
I'm
at
sorry,
before,
yeah.
Let
and
him-
there's so
I'm-
many rules that.
Okay,
I'm already working on that. I'm doing that.
So do
And-
we want a resolution from this group that says, please look at it or something?
I think that's a little premature, but there's no question, Steve, that when different things have, let's say, gone before the planning commission, you know, we have like, let's say, a letter would come from the ZBA that would be signed by Nick. We've had this with like the Historic District Commission, other committees, the Downtown Development Authority. It's very, very often that when something is being considered changed, you get letters of support from the Downtown Development Authority, from the ZBA, from the Historic District Commission.
So-
But I don't think this moment is the right one, maybe in January or, you know, after the, you know, the zoning committees start meeting.
Can we put that on the agenda for next ZBA meeting to just kind of revisit that and make sure it stays up and current and?
Is the December 5th meeting something we could bring this up at?
Oh, yeah.
If we come?
Absolutely.
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
a,
there you
that's a
go.
place to
Well, and I do
scream and
wanna,
yell at them.
Well, it's just, yeah, I mean,
I mean, I
yeah,
can't be there, but
is it, I guess
scream
the
and yell at
question is it appropriate for this zoning board of appeals to make a recommendation to the planning commission to please update the sign ordinance ASAP because they handcuffed us? And it's happened many times before. How many sign variances come before this? More
Well,
than
that's-
any other thing.
Yeah.
Several.
More than any other thing, it's sign.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they-
Well-
most of them want them big monster signs like
Oh,
that.
yes.
They see hearing times and they want the big monster one.
so I do want to let you know that during the process, I've gone back 5 years through all the ZBA variances and requests, and we've made a list of all of those, whether they were approved or disapproved. But a lot of signs were in that, and actually I could go back 10 years, because of course we have all those records. And so we have that evidence while we're doing the zoning ordinance rewrite, and it's
Okay.
in there.
That's
So that's
awesome.
part of the process, is to
Yes,
look
it
at-
is.
Okay.
At variance requests, whether they're denied or approved, in order to create a rewrite of the zoning ordinance that's appropriate for the community at this time.
Yeah. Well, and especially if something keeps reoccurring, then we
Yes.
know.
And
That's
that's
some
one
hard
of them it
data.
does.
Yes, it
and
is.
So
Okay.
I think
Well-
it's,
I guess we're ready for the next one then.
All right, great.
Hope it's not as long.
All right, you'll get tired of this, but again, this is the zoning board of appeals. As we talked again, you guys are all able to go on site, you're able to observe it, you're able to disclose it at the hearing. Transparency is crucial for the due process, and avoid ex parte communication during your visit. So the variance request in front of you today is at 207 Peachtree Road. The applicant and owner is Megan and Joe Santangelo for today.
Alphabet.
What's being requested? Extend the current side yard setback 6 foot from 81 foot to 87 feet. You're increasing the lot coverage from a 54% to a 56%, where zoning says really the max should only be 30%. Replace a rotten sunroom with an expanded structure matching the home's character. Required is the 10-foot minimum side setback, totaling 25 feet, again with that max 30% lot coverage. So letter F is the proposed addition, a 6 foot by 21 foot. Here are some photos that were taken of the structure. Here's some interior photos of the structure. Why a variance? It allows exceptions to zoning rules for unique hardships or property conditions. Ensures flexibility for owners while protecting the public and neighborhood interest. So zoning and neighborhood. At 207 Peachtree, their setback from the shoreline is 60 feet. I went ahead and did the other addresses here, as you can see, and I also did the average at the bottom. 131 has a 70 foot. 201 address has 55 feet. 223 has a 90 foot. And 227 has a 65 foot. So the average of all those homes that are located around 207 Petrie is 68 feet.
I'm sorry, with your cursor, can you show us 207 Petrie, please?
Very top one.
I can't read it.
It's
No,
this
on that
one
lot.
right here,
Yeah, yeah.
correct? This
Okay.
one right here.
Thank you.
Yep.
And the vacant lot next to it is a different lot?
Yes.
Okay.
Board review standards. No impact to neighborhood light or air. No traffic safety issue. No harm to neighborhood property values or the welfare. Visual consistency and lake view retained. Public notices. They were posted, mailed, and published. And the public comments were invited. The recommendation. Approval if all standards are met and no public determined detriment is found. Sorry. Possible conditions, none or as necessary. Thank you.
Okay. Open the public, please, yeah, state your name and address.
My name is Megan Santangelo, and I live at 207 Petrie Road.
I'm Joe Santangelo, same address.
If we could go back to the photos of the sunroom.
Interior, exterior?
Exterior, probably to start. So we purchased this house in August of 2021, and we knew that the side yard variance, we were already non-conforming. Our lot is only 55 feet wide, and the house goes right up to the edges of the lot. That was already done. We weren't aware about the coverage of the lot. We've done many updates to the inside of the house. We knew that this sunroom structure was a problem when we purchased it, and that it would eventually need to be replaced. And so we have been working on plans to replace that as part of a kitchen update. The structure itself, we think, was put on in about 2012, and it was almost like a kit. It was kind of just built into, they actually changed a window on the inside, if you go back to the inside. So this here, the laser pointer, this was actually a window on the original house that then just became open into this sunroom. So this sunroom is a step down from the rest of the house. It is leaking or rotting in the corners because of poor drainage. So you can see all the rot here, and the floor here, we've had to use spray foam because the windows are pulling away from the structure. And then if you go back to the outside, you can see all the rot at the base just because there's no gutters, the water just runs all the way down it. It's very energy inefficient because of the windows there. It is super freezing. The slider to the left of the structure that we want to replace was also not hung properly, and the wind coming off the lake, we actually can get snow underneath the door. So as we were designing the kitchen redo, both our contractor and our designer recommended removing that structure. And so the goal is to stay in that 6-foot print or footprint, but just pull it all the way across. It would also alleviate the hazard of the multiple sets of stairs. So there's a stairs down from the slider and stairs to the left of the slider. And it would bring the level of the floor of that sunroom up level with the rest of the kitchen.
So the unique situation here is that our house is built on a very narrow lot, and that's not applicable to most houses, even in our area. But the lot that our house is built in is very narrow, and our house already occupied much more than the normal amount, normal percentage coverage of the lot. So we are adding a little bit of inside square footage by extending that across and solving both the problem of the rotting structure and the problem of the stairs at one time. It's a pretty small increase in square footage, and you won't be able to see this from the street. From the lake view of the house, it'll be that same lower roof line across, so it doesn't impact the view from the lake.
It'll actually look better from the lake
That's the
than
idea. That's the idea.
stuck-on structure.
Yeah. And so I think this is a unique variance just because of the strange size and unique character of the lot and the house that was built on the lot that's been there for a long time. Happy to answer any questions from, and I don't know how this, I don't know if, I forget if you open it up to further public comment or questions or.
They want any questions for you?
I have a question. How are you gonna make the roof line when you redo it? 'Cause
I did drop off that big architectural drawing. Do you have that? Those like the poster size?
Okay.
She's gonna.
I think there's a copy right here.
Yeah, so they're gonna, I'm not an architect, so I don't know the
I'm
architectural.
just curious how
terms.
it's gonna, cause it's, right now,
It's
that
in their-
sunroom is below
it's in
that
their
little
packet.
nook.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
below that
So-
nook, so there is a beam there that goes across that great room, so they're gonna have to cover up that beam.
Yeah, it's in here.
But the roof will,
It's in your packet.
Is the roof gonna go across, like the one that is over where I'm sure the kitchen is right now? Is it gonna be that same roof line right there?
It's gonna be similar to this roof line.
Okay.
And then there'll be like a
That's just gonna come out further.
thing there, yes.
Okay.
But it's not gonna go beyond where the house already ends.
No, I was just wondering what you were gonna do, cause that's kinda tucked underneath there,
Yeah.
and I thought, well, how
Yeah.
are,
Yeah, there's a,
yeah, I seen that, but it was kinda small, cause I
Right.
think it was
It's
right
right.
here, I couldn't
not
tell
bad.
how it was being dealt with.
Okay.
so there's an empty lot next to you that doesn't belong to you, it belongs to someone else?
That's right, it actually belongs to some of our neighbors, so.
So, I see Dr. Anderson wrote a letter in support of it. Is that his house?
On the other side of
Of
the
that
empty lot.
empty lot.
Yeah, so
Okay,
there's
if we-
our house.
If we look at this,
Yeah,
it's,
that's exactly right, yes, yeah.
then he owns the empty lot.
He
No.
does not, so,
It's a common lot that is shared by Petrie Road.
Oh,
People that
well,
don't
that's,
have lake access frontage share that.
could you explain that a little bit then? Because to me, it's,
I'm Phil Potvin, I'm the vice president of that group.
okay.
Can you come up to the podium, please?
Can you
Come
come
up
up
to
to
the
the podium? Thanks.
Name and address, Phil.
Well, good evening. My name is Phil Potvin. I live at 129 Petrie Road, so I am right across Petrie Road from our current neighbors. And we've been there since 1983. But we bought in, and as we bought in, part of buying our home structure included an ownership piece of Lot 217, which is the vacant lot. There are 7 families who have similar ownership, and that lot ownership piece goes with the house. You can't take it with you. You can't sell it. One group, one family decided they didn't want to carry on, and so they failed to update our, because we have dues every year, and they failed to do that, and so they were eliminated. So we were down to now 7 different ownerships, and the owners are on George Street and on Petrie Road.
So there's like it's actually, the land's titled to an association?
We have, yeah, it's called South Shore Improvement Corporation.
Okay.
And as I say, there are 7 ownership, homeowners, and I have spoken with each one of them. I happen to be the vice president because our president and our secretary treasurer are at their other homes in Florida right now, and I got the straw. But we're just so pleased in what is going on and so pleased in what Joe and Meg have done and added to our neighborhood. We all get along so very, very well. And Chucks, when we got there in '83, there were young children all over the place. Today, we have grandchildren who visit on occasion, but that's about it. The young children are pretty much gone, and the last young ones were the Andersons' children, who are now all in college.
Yeah, sure.
So, but we are very much in favor of this, each and every one of us. And I'm here just to, again, encourage this to be approved by all of you so that this can go on in 2026 as they're planning to do. And thank you very much for the great job that you folks are doing for our community to continue to hold us so positive, but also working together. Deeply appreciated.
Thanks for the
Thank you.
clarification.
You bet.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
And on the other side, it's a street, if I am understanding right. On the other side of your house, it's a,
So on the one side, it's a vacant lot, and on the other side is our other neighbor.
Okay.
We brought the neighborhood tonight.
I'm trying, that's good.
Okay.
I'm trying to get a read on how this sits, and it's,
We're at the bend of Petrie, so there's a kind of an extended long driveway that goes to Bobby's
DeKreiger's
house,
and my
DeKreiger's
house.
and Phil's.
okay, that's, okay, I got, that's the driveway. There's a little chicane right there, and then that's the driveway back to your house, okay.
goes between our house and Bobby's
Got it. Got
Okay.
it.
State your name and address.
I'm Bobby Brown, and I live at 201 Petrie Road. And I'm very happy that they are improving the neighborhood, their home and all. It's not being neglected, and I don't think this would infringe on the view of the lake for me or my neighbors, and I'm in favor of that. And thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Well, Mr.
Good evening, I'm Dean DeKreiger. I live at 131 Petrie Road. I am 2 houses to the west from the Santangelos. I've had a chance to look at the drawings that they put together also. First of all, why we believe this is very eligible for a variance is this is a non-conforming lot to start with. And that's the thing that is driving this. They are in a condition that anything they do is they're already non-conforming. So what they are proposing is not distasteful. They are not getting any closer to the lake. They are making improvements that are going to enhance not only their property but ours also. As their value goes up, so does ours. So as a neighbor, I am very much in favor of this. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? You got anything else you want to say?
Any other questions, or?
Okay. Well,
Thanks for your service, appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
close it and open it comments to us or motion,
Well,
whichever.
I've certainly got something to say.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a motion to approve the variance, and I definitely would like to explain why. I visited the site, I looked at what they want to do. This sunroom, it's deteriorating, it's a problem. The step down from the kitchen area into the sunroom is definitely a trip hazard, so there's issues there. Staff has the authority to extend a nonconformity, such as down the side yard, but they don't have the authority to expand a nonconformity, so that's why we're here. So the reason I'm going to make a motion to approve it is based on section, Daniel, write this down, please. It's section 6, what did I write? It's right here, 46-655 relating to non-conforming structures. And it's under section D1, minor non-conforming uses of land. This is not what's considered a major non-conforming use because, for example, that would be like a industrial facility in a residential neighborhood. So this falls under the minor non-conforming uses. Part 1 here, and I'm going to read it, and I'll try to read it fast, but this is where I think they meet the standard for a practical difficulty. 1, the sunroom definitely needs to be rebuilt, but it also should be rebuilt the right way.
Yeah.
It needs to be rebuilt. But this is what it reads. It says, no such non-conforming use of structure or land shall be enlarged, increased, extended, or altered to occupy a greater area of land that was occupied at the effective date at the adoption of the amendment or the ordinance from which the chapter is derived. This is the important part of this. An exception to this restriction can be made where an otherwise lawful structure, which this is, exists that could not be built under the terms of this chapter by reason of restrictions on area, lot coverage, height, yards, or other characteristics of the structure or its location on the lot. This is important too. The Zoning Board of Appeals may approve the reestablishment, expansion, alteration, or extension upon evidence of demonstrable hardship or practical difficulty resulting from conditions which do not exist generally throughout the zone. I believe that gives us the authority to allow it. If this were a massive addition to their home, but this is really from a square footage standpoint, not very much, but I think to rebuild it and to do it right, we should grant them the variance.
I'll second your motion.
Coy,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Hutchinson,
Yes.
Alt,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Host,
Yes.
Bontrager.
Yes.
Get your permits.
And we were even a little shorter for you. Thank you for your service, we appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Can you
Can you
folks
imagine
hold
how
for
many
just a minute
people that
after we
they were
finish? I wanted
just
to
gonna
talk
try
to you.
and take that little bit
You got just a second?
It would be.
First thing I realize is
Yeah, you too, Dean.
how many people have tripped?
Okay, now we go, I gotta remember what we're doing here now. Any new business?
Nothing at this time.
Any old business? Board member comment?
It's been fun.
I do. Is anybody gonna go to the December meeting to encourage them to maybe
will,
get a move on?
'Cause I'm part
I
of
hope
it
to.
from the
I hope
planning
to.
commission.
I would like to, but
I hope to.
I'm very busy.
Yep. Excuse me. Dean,
Okay.
do you have a minute as soon as? You got
Public comments.
Public
Yes, we
comment.
adjourn.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
I second it.
That means I gotta go to work.
I think we all voted yes.